It is in Cusco where the non-profit organization Inkarri, created in 2009, dedicates its archaeological research to the study of the permanent presence of the Inca in the Peruvian Amazon jungle and the location of their main population center. An archaeological site still hidden in the Peruvian jungle, better known under the name of Païtiti. Thus, in the framework of these investigations, the Inkarri group, led by the French-Peruvian researcher Thierry JAMIN, has been able to officialize in recent years, together with the decentralized Directory of Culture of Cusco, more than 30 magnificent archaeological sites, located north of Cusco in the valleys of Lago Llavero, Chunchusmayo, Cusirini, and Yoyato. They are fortresses, small centers of agriculture production, necropolises, and complete citadels, populated by hundreds of buildings, magnificent temples, small streets, and small squares. In short, true Amazonian Pompeii. These sites, curiously enough, are located toward the north of the department of Cusco. Since 2010, several Michigangas natives, inhabitants of the southern part of the Megantoni National Sanctuary, have reported the existence of a mysterious mountain lost in the sanctuary, on which numerous monumental ruins were hidden. Several of them evoke the ruins of Panteacolla and other those of Paititi. Upon returning from their 2011 campaign, Thierry JAMIN and his group had the feeling that they were close to this mysterious mountain and an archaeological site that could be very important, a site that should control a vast territory, including the magnificent citadels found, among others, in the valleys of Lago Llavero and Chunchusmayo. So, returning to Cusco, Thierry JAMIN contacted the European company Airbus Defence and Space, which has been supporting the team in terms of satellite imagery since 1996. In an image made at his request, in June 2012, based on coordinates located north of Megantoni, suddenly appears a strange square-shaped mountain, 1,000 meters on each side. A few hundred meters west of this amazing formation, unique twin lagoons, A-shaped, also appears a few tens of meters from another strange square-shaped lagoon. Several legends about Paititi also affirm that this mythical lost city would have been built near twin lagoons. There is no doubt, after centuries of mystery, these elements indicate the very probable location of the queen of the lost cities of South America. From 2013, the Inkarri Institute's team tried several times to reach this mountain, in collaboration with Mashigenga, Ashaninka, and Kukapakori, natives from the community of Timpia, located on the banks of the Urubamba River. Despite several attempts, the Inkarri Institute team never managed to reach this great historical and archaeological treasure. In 2014, after another failure, a conclusion emerged. The only way to enter this archaeological zone is by helicopter, equipped with complete research logistics. They had been trying for several years to convince the local authorities of Ministry of Culture, and especially those of Cernam of Quillabamba, to enter this archaeological zone in order to confirm or not the presence of the site, to verify its current state of conservation. In Cusco, the decentralized Directory of Culture says it is ready to grant Inkarri a research permit without excavation. However, this authorization is subject to prior agreement with the sanctuary's leadership, as the site is located in a restricted sector of the Megantoni sanctuary. Unfortunately, Eric Samayoa Calle, head of the sanctuary, is fiercely opposed to the project because he believes that the area includes a native population, involuntary isolation, and initial contact of Piazzi, which is correct. However, the supposed archaeological site is located on top of this mysterious square mountain, which looks like a small plateau located 1,800 meters above sea level. This mountain is surrounded by vertical cliffs of almost 90 degrees and 1,000 meters of vertical drop. Therefore, there is practically no chance of finding and contact native of the top of this mountain. The only possible access to the summit is to the west, across another plateau where the strange twin lakes are located, which seem to be in direct connection with the famous site located. And as noted by the Megantoni chieftain itself, in a letter to the Inkarri Institute in September 2016, there is a maluka, or native house, 6 kilometers northeast of the mountain, and several native families live in the basin of the Alto Timpia River. So as we see, there is very little chance of finding in situ natives of the region. Finally, most of the inhabitants of the upper Timpia River already have frequent contact with the communities established on the banks of the lower Urubamba River. These natives are constantly going back and forth between the Timpia River and these communities. In April 2014, the issue of the probable location of Paititi takes a surprising turn thanks to a new satellite images generated by Airbus in high definition. In these new images, two strange square geometric formations can be seen on the shores of the twin lagoons. These are three cuttings and they are recent. Moreover, these cuts had been made just a few meters from the only point that allows access to this site by helicopter. It is first a square area of 50 meters on each side, and another area, triangular in shape, 50 meters wide by 70 or 80 meters long. These cut-outs correspond with all certainty to the realization of a clandestine base camp and heliport. And that's only a few hundred meters from the supposed archaeological site. It can be a simple coincidence. These three cuts are recent because the vegetation has not grown back yet. They show, without a doubt, the realization of a clandestine operation carried out with a helicopter. And this is in the precise place where it is thought to have located the location of a very important archaeological site for the history of our country. In fact, there is a high probability that it is the famous mythical city of Paititi. Indeed, all the elements gathered by the Inkarri Institute lead to this conclusion. This data had been communicated to the Megantoni headquarters on numerous occasions, and the attitude of Cernam, which continues to fiercely oppose a legitimate monitoring and scientific research operation, is surprising. Evidence gathered by the Inkarri Institute in recent years shows repeat and recent visits by clandestine and illegal groups to this archaeological site, at least since 2012. Why does the chieftainship take such a position? And why does it not care that Huaqueros loot and damage this great Peruvian culture treasure? This behavior is certainly suspicious. How is it that the head of a sanctuary can ignore this kind of clandestine, not at all discreet helicopter operation? Thierry JAMIN obviously communicated to Suriname all the elements found several years ago. Did the chief's office investigate as required by law? And did it seek to determine the origins of these three cats as well as their authors?
Pero también dice la jefatura que estos famosos cortes serían en realidad zona natural de inundación y se basan sobre un sobrevuelo que habrían realizado con una ONG en julio de 2016 observando esta zona. Pero hay un problema porque el mismo guardaparque que ha realizado este sobrevuelo y que después ha escrito su informe dice que debido a un cambio de ruta de la avioneta no han podido sobrevolar la zona de las lagunas gemelas y de la montaña cuadrada. Así que, ¿cómo pueden asegurar que se trata de una zona natural de inundación si no han podido sobrevolar las lagunas? ¿No te parece que hay un problema en esta institución?
This situation generates anger and exasperation to all the protectors and lovers of Peruvian culture. While Inkarri Cusco for several years had been trying to obtain the permit to carry out this great work of studies in favor of the national patrimony, illegal and clandestine groups of huaqueros entered the site without any problem to loot it and steal its riches. Given the serious economic situation in which our country currently finds itself, especially the Cusco region, touristic and archaeological capital of South America, the discovery of Paititi, the queen of the lost cities, offers an exceptional opportunity for the reactivation of tourism in the department of Cusco. Since the beginning of the pandemic caused by COVID-19, hundreds of archaeologists, thousands of tour guides, and hotel and restaurants professionals are now out of work. It is a unique opportunity to provide work for thousands of people in the department of Cusco. Of course, we know that tourists will not be able to enter to the citadel of Paititi in a few years, but its discovery will cause a great commotion worldwide. However, these tourists will already be able to come and discover the archaeological jewels that exist in the north of the department of Cusco, in the valleys of Laco Llavero, Chunchusmayo, and Cusirini. Finally, the discovery of Paititi could take place in 2021, year of the bicentennial of the independence of Peru. After months of bad news, more than ever, our fellow citizens need good news. For Thierry JAMIN and his group, the time has come for the discovery of Paititi. The Inkarri Institute does not seek fame. They are only inspired by the love for this country, for its culture, for its rich historical and archaeological heritage. We cannot allow that huaqueros completely destroy Paititi. Let us protect this great cultural heritage of the nation of humanity. The new leaders of the country, the central government and the local officials of Suriname and the Ministry of Culture must allow these scientific investigations to be carried out for the good of the country. They cannot allow unscrupulous traffickers to destroy this great historical legacy of our ancestors. If they do not intervene, they will be judged harshly by the people and the history.